Honestly, 2020 has been a crazy year. Everybody talking about new year, new me, but what does that actually really mean? Honestly, if you are still standing and you have made it to this day, you are more than blessed. So as we wrap up 2020 and we prepare for 2021, we need to have a game plan that rocks. Get it? Cause like the rock game plan. Please subscribe. What better way to start 2021 than do a get ready with me, because we're getting ready for 2021. We'll teach you guys how to effectively set New Year's resolutions for 2021. So shall we begin? So honestly, you have to dream big. We always think that we can't do something because it's already done, or we just don't believe in ourselves to do things. The law of attraction is real. What you want to happen will happen. You just have to like really trust and believe in yourself. And I know that that's like the basic advice that like everybody gives. 2020, honestly, for me personally, has been like probably one of the best years of my life, because I accomplished like a lot this year. I got into pharmacy school. I graduated early when everybody told me that I wouldn't, or I shouldn't, or I couldn't. I got my first car. I got my first job in the pharmacy industry, like my first like relationship this year. And so a lot of cool things had happened to me this year I never thought would ever happen to me. But when you dream big, you also have to like start small. A lot of people in this generation, what they do is they're very focused on like, I need to have it now. I need to manifest this now. It doesn't happen overnight, you know what I mean? Like you see people like blowing up and stuff, and you think like,
oh my god, like it's gonna happen like fast, or it can happen like if I just do X, Y, and Z.
Sometimes you are gonna do X, Y, and Z and it's still not going to work out. Just you are dreaming big and thinking big, you have to understand that there's gonna take small steps to get there. So for example, if you want to learn how to cook, right? You're not going to be Rachel Ray in a day. Like, girl, you're not. But what you are going to be able to do is you're going to be learning the basics so that one day you can get there, if not be even better. Remember that it's going to take like the little steps. The next thing that I would say is that you need to learn from what went wrong this year. For those of you who have not really had a good year this year, there were obviously some lessons that you learned, and a lot of people don't like to revisit their past. They like to make their past seem like it was like something distant from themselves. Your past, though it doesn't define you, you can make the same mistake over and over and over again. Think about what went wrong, or if you've tried to do a goal in the past, for example, like losing weight, and you never really were successful, you have to learn from what you did wrong from the past. You know, some of you guys would work out, right? But then eat like junk food.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
Weren't paying attention to your calorie intake.
You in my business? Yeah, don't do that.
So when you're doing the goal again, you're gonna want to like obviously not do the same thing. You're not going to get better if you don't know what you did wrong the first time. And that is a fact. They always say like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, or something like that. It was particularly harder like with the whole online thing. Some of y'all could not like do well in school and stuff because you know you couldn't pay attention at home, or you were demotivated, or you were lonely, or you didn't have as much support. What they won't tell you is that in this world you have to be able to adapt to change. In any industry that you work in the real life, whether you're a singer, or you are a teacher, or you are a doctor, or you're a lawyer, or you're an engineer, you have to adapt to change. If you cannot adapt to change, you are going to be left behind. If we're still online in 2021, recommend is, you know, figure out what was like a problem for you this time round, and try to find ways to avoid that problem. The next thing that you're gonna have to do in order to set an effective New Year's goal is that you are going to have to hold yourself accountable. Now, this is the hard part, and this is the part that literally most people do not do. And I'm talking like really hold yourself accountable. If you're really serious about achieving your goals, there's going to be days where you are going to like literally forget like what is going on. Like you're literally going to be like, oh my God, like what is happening? Like I'm shook. There are going to be days where you're going to literally like be demotivated. You're not going to want to get up. Like the lethargy be real. What has helped me keep myself accountable is that I like to unplug. So I like to get off social media. And let me tell you something about this social media thing. It can destroy you. It can destroy you mentally, but it can also destroy you physically. What a lot of people don't realize is the reason why you are not motivated to do anything that you want to do is because a lot of us intake too much dope. Beyond that, dopamine. And dopamine is like a neurotransmitter. And what dopamine does is it's like your pleasure, it's your reward. You know, things naturally trigger dopamine. So like when you eat, when you sleep, and when you have. And those are the things that trigger your dopamine release. So you consume like way too much dopamine. That is why you can binge watch Netflix for 10 hours, but you can't study for 10 hours. Because studying doesn't release that much dopamine. So you have to do dopamine detox, meaning you need to limit the amount of dopamine that you consume so that you can be able to carry out low dopamine tasks. So the best way you do that is you need to unplug. So when I unplug from social media, which is like a lot, I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, like I can't live without checking my Instagram, or I have a business on Instagram or stuff like that. If you have like a business or something that requires your social media input, obviously you need to limit the amount of time you're on it. So only just do business related stuff and then get off. But for those of you who use like social media for leisure, let me tell you something, a real secret. Come in. Most of the time that you are on social media, if it is important enough, you will not need social media to know about it. So I told you all the things that I accomplished earlier, right? I was off social media for like months at a time. And honestly, 95% of the things that we see, right? We don't hear about it unless we are on the internet. And you will be surprised, not a lot of the stuff that you just consume randomly is important, because this whole social media thing, it really stops your productivity. All that time that you're spending like scrolling through your phone, you could be like literally studying. You could be investing in your business, you could be exercising, you could be learning a new skill, but scrolling, watching other people live their lives. And most of the time, like what you see on social media isn't even really like that accurate. You admit it by like deleting the app from my phone and telling myself what day I'll come back. You know, and I literally hold myself accountable, because I would literally like delete the app and like forget that I even had an Instagram because I was so busy doing this, that, and that. I noticed that when I wasn't on social media for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time, I really got more productive and I could focus more and I had just more clarity. And that's, I think, what this generation, because we live so much of our lives on social media, like literally people have careers on social media. You know, we forget. Ooh. Another thing that I do is that if I'm using the computer, there's this app called Self-Control app. And basically what Self-Control app does is it will block the websites, and you can't even go back and change it after you've told it what websites to block. You can't even go back and change it. So you put the amount of time that you want it to block you, like you put the amount of time that you want it to block, and it'll block those websites for like those hours. So on mine, it has like YouTube, it has like social media, it has like shopping, because I will spend hours just looking for things to shop. At Harper's Bazaar, I got issues. Another thing that will also help a lot is setting a schedule. And I know that like everyone always says like set a schedule, do that. But for me, when I set schedules, what I do is I plan everything to the minute. So I say from 5:30 to 5:45, I am going to rest time. And when it's that time, I stop doing it, even if I didn't complete it, because I got to be productive. I got to keep it going. Have all these goals and try to push yourself, because honestly, like, life is really short, you guys. Like, life is not going to wait for you. Get yourself together. Honestly, it is going to keep going and going and going, and you don't want to waste your youth. You know, there's so many old people and like adults, and even some of you guys as parents, that always say, oh, if only I had done this, if only I had tried this. Worst feeling in the world is regret. Knowing that you could have done something but you didn't do something is one of the worst feelings in the world, because you don't have that time back.
You don't get that time back.
It's kind of like, dang, I tried something, it didn't work, moving on. But you don't want to sit there saying, dang, I wish I would have done this. What would have happened? Or something could have happened. Or I could have been the next president of the United States. I could have been the next Beyonce. Whoa there. Productive. Another thing that you could possibly do is get a buddy. So if you know you or one of your friends or somebody in your family or just somebody you know is also doing the same New Year's goal that you're doing, get somebody that's also doing that. Because sometimes when other people are doing things, it helps motivate you. When it came to like my faith, right, I had like a partner that I was like checking in to make sure that I was good on my Christianity and I was reading my Bible, and that really helped me remind myself to stay accountable. So nobody cares that you want to be rich when you grow up. Nobody cares that you have a lot of dreams and aspirations. What we do care about is what you do with those dreams and aspirations. Your tongue has a lot of power. What you say out of your mouth speaks a lot of life. When you make these lists of these New Year's resolutions, you have to remind yourself that you literally put this energy into the world. Like, you literally said you were going to do this. You owe it to yourself to follow through with your goals and your dreams and your aspirations. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. Honestly, don't listen to people, because it's the end that justifies the means. It's not about where you start, it's about where you stop. You know, you might not have the most support. You might not have the biggest house or the biggest car. Is that all good things take time. If you want to do something great in your life, it's not going to happen like pretty quickly. In fact, the best things in life took, for me at least, took the most time. You know, you might think that you're not special because you're some random girl on the block who, you know, you don't have any clout, you only have 300 followers, you don't think that you can do anything. Girl, you can do it. If the idea is there and if there's a will, there's definitely gonna be a way. So many of the things that I accomplished this year, I never thought that I would do, because I think about where I was in life. You know, that just goes to show you the power of the tongue and the power of God and everything, that you can really do what you want to do. It's gonna be hard. Everybody who is successful, anyone that you know that is successful, has had to sacrifice something in this life. List nights.
Bruh.
Again, nothing is perfect, and there might be some unforeseeable challenges that you might experience this year. And it's going to be hard for you to like sometimes get motivated again, or to remind yourself what you told yourself 4 months ago or 5 months ago, or for some of you guys 12 months ago. Take that time. You're not going to be perfect, especially if you're trying to do something like really radical in your life. It is not going to come easily. That you're taking that time to reassess, but you're not giving up, and you're really close in your spiritual life, because honestly, that's the only way that you're going to like be able to maintain that endurance. You might be expecting some help. You might be expecting people to support you, but let me tell you that something. You'll be surprised like who will support you and who will not support you. So don't bank on other people's like support to help you get through anything.
Like, really don't.
Because you will be shocked. You are going to be able to make it this year. And I have faith that you're going to be able to make it this year, because you're here. You're actively searching on how you can set better goals for yourself and good tips that you can use. So there's no doubt in my mind that you are ready you're ready for the challenge. So what are some of you guys' New Year's resolutions? Let me know down below in the comments. I hope that you guys have a wonderful New Year's and that you will set your goals and use some of the tips that I gave you. If you love this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you will know every single time that I post. And until then, slay chick or you get eliminated.